We're looking at the schoolgirls abduction. Now, this one says Nigerians will be shocked by those behind schoolgirls abduction, says Matuwali, and a host of other, stories surrounding this. So let's talk about it.
I think of the Matawale, the Governor Bello. The Maradu Matawale. Matawale is actually his nickname, his title, just like Jagaban Bobo. Yeah. His name is Bello, Governor Mohammed Bello. Yes. Bello. The Matawale Maradu, but they call him Matawale anyway. And I think everybody's already used to that. But for perspective's sake, I think he'll be surprised that nobody will be shocked if he tells us who is behind his abductions because he's not telling us. Yes, as a blanket comment, Nigerians will be shocked if I tell you who is behind it. That should be the first thing you should say. Is it the presidency or the PDP that is behind the abductions of Jangibi girls? Come on, Governor Matawale. Your IPOB or ESN or Afenifed. Tell us. He was speaking when traditional rulers came to visit him. The Zamfara State Council of Traditional Rulers, led by the Emir of Ankara, who I think is their chairman, and they were praising him. Those ones were praising him and blaming the FG. They were blaming federal government for the failure of security. That the federal government failed to support his peace moves, his amnesty program for bandits, and that is why the people are sabotaging. They don't call federal government. The people are sabotaging those efforts. That was why the jungle makers were taking. I think the traditional rulers were playing to the gallery, and the governor got excited and made that comment. If I tell you, I think the lot will not be shocked if he says who, because it's bandits that took the girls and they've held them since Friday, and he's negotiating to get their release. He's using former bandits to negotiate. He has convened a committee of former bandits, and they are the ones who have gone into the bush to negotiate the release of these girls. Wow. I don't know if he gave them money, but that's what's going on. So some news filtered in yesterday that the girls have been released. It was fake news. The girls haven't been released. The negotiations are still ongoing. Yesterday, the Minister for Aviation, Hadi Sirika, led another federal government delegation, President Buhari's own delegation, to visit. And that was when the minister said, President Buhari says, the Jangabe will be the last. Yeah. I doubt that because after he made those comments, they've kidnapped again in this country. Yeah. In Niger State. In fact, in same Kagara, the very same Kagara. A bus in Delta yesterday was hijacked. All the people inside were kidnapped. Nobody travels through the Lagos building anyway. A friend of mine was coming to see me from Lokoja. She went through Ondo, Ekiti. I said, why not the Lagos Ibadan? Easy for you. The Benin, the road between Lokoja and Lagos is Lokoja. If you know that road very well, Lokoja, Auchi, Benin, Lagos. You do it in 4, 5, 6 hours. If you go through Ondo, it's a long road. But that's where they're taking now because nobody wants to go through Auchi, Benin. They'll take your car and take you inside bush. Very risky part. Those are in Nigeria today. It's a country surrounded by government. Everywhere you look, northeast, northwest, southeast, police have been attacked there. So there's no way you look at you're not finding security. It's a big challenge for the country now. So when the minister said President Buhari said this is the last, I did not believe him. Because I've not seen anything that has been put on ground to ensure that this is the last. And as soon as he spoke, maybe no more large-scale kidnappings, like 300 girls, 400 schoolboys. But they're still taking 12 people from their buses, still taking 7 from their homes. The bandits walk into communities in Zamfara and take as much as they want. In Sokoto, it's the same thing. So those assurances are good for the optics, for the media, but they're not the reality. There's a major security problem in this country. Everybody appears to be overwhelmed. So I think earlier the government put in place. I was watching a video of one of the women where her 2 daughters were taken in this Jangibe. Yeah. She's 30 years old. Her daughters were 13 and 14. She's even a small girl. Yeah. She was speaking of her grief, her agony. Unbelievable. When you describe it, the way she broke down, she said she can't even feed the younger ones because every time she wants to give them food, she thinks of the 2 that have gone. This is the human agony and the reality of the life of the victims. You need to hear the Kagara boys when I came back. They said they identified them. You're a military man speaking, they beat
still with you.
And these are small boys, 10, 11, 12. That's what the bandits did. They profiled them and found out because in Niger State, military weapons were, the army barracks almost everywhere. Yeah. So they just tried to profile them, identify them, and were beating them up for being children of military and policemen. These are real stories of victims. You don't want this kind of thing happening in your country. So the multi-pronged approach to end this banditry is what we think the federal government should pursue. Not lip service of this will be the last. Because certainly it doesn't appear like this will be the last. The bandits are too emboldened. Yeah. The policy of the Zamfara state governor is emboldening bandits. You know, I think that is his shock. Because the governor, Matawale, also said that. He described the kidnapping as an irony. Ironic because it was at the time when he's pouring money, granting amnesty, there's a peace accord.
Yeah.
That is when they're taking 317 girls from his school inside the Zamfara state. Shocked him. Really shocked him.